Welcome back. We're reading the Sealed Nectar, a Patreon requested book. It is a book about the noble prophet, peace be upon him. It's very interesting, especially if you like world literature. So we are continuing our reading on page 166 in the section that's titled Open Preaching. Okay. Al-Bukhari, on the authority of Ibn Masud, narrated, once the Prophet, peace be with him, was offering prayers near the Kaaba. Abu Jahl was sitting with some of his companions. Some of them said to the others, "Who among you will bring the guts of a camel of Bani so-and-so and put it on the back of Muhammad when he prostrates?" There's this horror movie we have in the US called Carrie. And it's about a girl. She gets blood dumped on her when she's like at her high school, and she ends up like having some supernatural power. I remember right, and people end up dying. But one of the reasons why that movie, I think it was Stephen King who wrote that. I mean, he wrote a book and then it got turned into a movie, right? But I remember growing up and people were so shocked by it because when you put fluids of an animal on someone, it's like a big disgrace. So if people remember, the other one was the womb of a sheep they wanted to put on them, and now they're saying lamb guts. Oh, extreme bullying, man. The most wretched of them, Uqba bin Abi Mu'ayt, got up and brought it. He waited till the Prophet, peace be with him, prostrated, and then placed it on his back between his shoulders. Wow. I'm gonna annotate that real quick. Camel guts. It's good to know this. You never know when you're gonna be having a conversation with somebody and they're gonna say something very ignorant about Muhammad, peace be with him, and then I can explain to others. Be like, hey, did you know this about him? I bet you so many people would be shocked. They'd be like, that's even more extreme than what Jesus suffered. Yes, Jesus died, but he was, flogged. He had to carry a cross and then was hung, right? And had to go through the pain of that. And then had the crown of thorns placed on his head, smushed, and he was laughed and ridiculed. But if you notice something, Muhammad has had rocks thrown at him. He's had his own family members turned against him. He's had his children has passed away. He was an orphan. Now somebody put camel guts on him. People had a campaign, right, to like divert his followers, to stamp out his, revolution. If you compare the suffering side by side, you'd be like, wow. I'm not saying that we have to have a suffering Olympics. What I am saying, though, is that anyone who denies the fact that Muhammad, peace be with him, didn't suffer, hasn't read anything historical like this book. So I'm very fortunate that I've read this, and we will continue to read it. Wow. I was watching but could not do anything. I wish I had some people with me to hold out against them. They started laughing and falling on one another. Oh. Allah's messenger, peace be with him, was in prostration, and he did not lift his head up till Fatima, peace be with her, the Prophet's daughter, came and removed it from his back. Dang. O Allah, destroy the infidels of Quraysh. So it was hard for Abu Jahl and his companions when the Prophet, peace be with him, invoked Allah against them, as they had a belief that the prayers and invocations were accepted in this city, Mecca. The Prophet, peace be with him, said, O Allah, destroy Abu Jahl, Utbah bin Rabi'ah, Shaybah bin Rabi'ah, Al-Walid bin Utbah, Umayyah bin Khalaf, and Uqba bin Abi Mu'ayt. And he mentioned the seventh, whose name I cannot recall. By Allah, in whose hands my life is, I saw the dead bodies of those persons who were counted by Allah's messenger, peace be with him, in the Kalib, one of the wells of Badr. Kalib. The seventh person was Umar bin al-Walid. Umayyah bin Khalaf would slander and talk bad about Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, whenever he saw him. It was about him that Allah revealed, "Woe to every slanderer and backbiter." 104:1. Ibn Hisham said, Al-Huzama is the one who publicly mocks a person, and Al-Lumza is the one who secretly declares the defects of people and defames them. Uqba bin Abi Muwait, Umayyah's brother, once attended an audience of the Prophet, peace be with him, and listened to him preaching Islam. A close friend of his, Ubay bin Khalaf, heard of this. He could not tolerate any act of this sort, so he strongly condemned Uqba and ordered him to spit in the face of Allah's Messenger. It's disgusting. And he shamelessly did it. Someone spit in my face, they would have no tongue left. Ubay did not spare any thinkable way to harm the Prophet, peace be with him. He even ground old decomposed bones and blew the powder on him. That would hurt your eyes, cut your eyeballs. The powder would get in your nose and make you sick. Al-Akhnas bin Shuraik al-Thaqafi used to speak ill about the character of the Prophet, peace be with him, in season and out of season. The noble Quran, in direct reference to this man's shameful deeds, attached to him 9 repulsive characteristics. And obey not everyone who swears much, and is considered worthless, a slanderer, going about with calumnies, hinderer of the good, transgressor, sinful, cruel, after that, base born of illegitimate birth. 68:10-13. Sometimes Abu Jahl would come to listen to Allah's Messenger, peace be with him, recite the Quran, then he would leave without believing in it, nor taking heed to its warnings. He would harm Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, in speech. He would take every opportunity to obstruct the message of Allah. And then he would go around arrogantly boasting about what he did. Allah revealed about him, so he, the disbeliever, neither believed in this Quran, in the message of Muhammad, nor prayed. 75:31. He moreover wanted to debar the Prophet, peace be with him, from praying in the noble sanctuary. It happened once that the Prophet, peace be with him, was praying within the area of the sacred house, when Abu Jahl proceeded threateningly and uttering abusive language. The Prophet, peace be with him, admonished him severely, to which Abu Jahl answered back rudely, claiming that he was the mightiest in Mecca. Allah then revealed, "Then let him call upon his council of helpers." 96:17. In another version of the same incident, the Prophet, peace be with him, took Abu Jahl by his neck and moved him back and forth severely like this. "Woe to you, O man," and then again, "Woe to you." Again, "Woe to you, O man," and then again, "Woe to you." 74:34-35. Notwithstanding this approach, Abu Jahl would never wake up to himself, nor did he realize his foolish practices. On the contrary, he was determined to go to extremes, and swore he would dust the messenger's face and step on his neck. No sooner had the process to fulfill his wicked intention than he was seen, turning back, shielding himself with his hands, as if something horrible was in pursuit. His companions asked him what the matter was. He said, "I perceived a ditch of burning fire, and some wings flying." Later on, the messenger, peace be with him, commented, saying, "If he had proceeded further, the angels would have plucked off his limbs, one after another." Such was the disgraceful treatment meted out to the Prophet, peace be upon him, and the Muslims at the hand of the evil pagans who claimed that they were Allah's people, living in his sanctuary. Okay, the next part says, the house of Al-Arqam. In the light of these inhuman harassments, the Prophet, peace be with him, deemed it wise to advise his followers to conceal their conversion, in both word and deed, He took the decision to meet them secretly, lest the Quraysh should get to know of his designs, and plot to foil his goals. He also wanted to avoid any sort of open confrontation with the polytheists, because such a thing, at this early stage, would not be in the interest of the newly born Call. Still weak and not fully fledged. Yeah, you have to be careful of that. Once in the 4th year of prophethood, the Muslims were on their way to the hillocks of Mecca to hold a secret meeting with the Prophet, peace be with him. I know I probably said this like 100 times, but it's fascinating how throughout history, whenever a new faith is born, it has to happen first kind of like on the small scale and then be like built out. Otherwise, it can get infiltrated. When a group of polytheists observed their suspicious movement and began to abuse and fight them, Sa'id bin Abi Waqqas beat a polytheist and shed his blood, and thus recorded the first instance of bloodshed in the history of Islam. The Prophet, peace be with him, on the other hand, used to proclaim the Islamic faith and preach it openly with deep devotion and studious pursuit. But for the general welfare of the new converts and the consideration of the strategic interests of Islam, he took Dar al-Arqam, the estate of al-Arqam bin Abul Arqam al-Makhzumi on As-Safa, as a temporary center to meet his followers secretly and instruct them in the Quran and the Islamic wisdom. The estate of this guy. It was like the headquarters. That's good. Because you have a place that's like legit that you can like not have it infiltrated. And you know what? It's at least somebody was able to finally like, stand up for the group that's, the Muslims who were trying to like establish their faith. Because we don't know, Said, he fought the polytheists, but, we don't know if that person was, like, just being too goatish and was just, like, finally asking for it, right? And obey not everyone is, like, worthless and come and hinderer. I'm still thinking about that, the camel guts, and the sheep womb, the rocks. I can picture it too when they say like they started laughing and falling on each other. That's a hard thing to deal with because you want to strike at all of them, but you can't, right? Certain laughing you can ignore, but when it's too like in your face laughing, it's hard to deal with. Dang, man, it makes me sad. What do you think, family?